Well, the sun's setting. It's evening time. You know what that means. It's time to start cooking dinner. This week, I asked my son, what are some meals that you want me to cook this week? And he said he wanted like some sort of salad. So we decided to do a chicken bacon ranch salad. So here I am getting the lettuce ready and the bacon. Now this recipe, well, it's not really a recipe, but this meal was easy to do because I already had cut up chicken breasts frozen in my freezer. So I came home from work and I pulled out the chicken breasts, and you can see they're on the back counter there defrosting a bit while I'm preparing other things. And they're not going to be fully defrosted, so I'm going to have to fry them up a bit to get them to fully defrost, but it still saves some time where I just have to throw them in the pan and cook them. I don't know if you guys have this same problem, but my dogs, they're not very well behaved. They love being in the kitchen when I'm trying to cook, which can be kind of annoying, but they are cute, so sometimes I let them get away with it. All right, the bacon's done now, and I'm just pulling that out, and I decided I'm just gonna fry this chicken breast right up in this bacon grease because why not? Chicken breast tends to get dry. I thought the grease might help it stay moist and have a really good flavor. So like I said, it was kind of still frozen together, so I had to let it kind of defrost as it fried up. I'm sort of trying something a little different with this video. I decided to make them a little more natural, a little more like this is what I come home and do. This is exactly what it looks like. I come home and I get things out and start cooking and try to have a somewhat simple yet good meal. Most nights of the week, I don't cook every night, but I do try to cook as much as I can. So I did warm up some pre-made cheddar roll things in the oven to go with that. All right, here's another night this last week that I made homemade tomato soup and some grilled cheese. And I don't typically make homemade tomato soup. I usually just buy the Pacific brand. I really like their creamy tomato soup. But I wanted to try something a little bit better, a little tastier than just boxed tomato soup. And I had the energy and the time, so I went ahead and went for it. So this one I started by sauteing the veggies, and then I got some herbs ready to go, and I minced those up. And then I threw in canned tomatoes and sun-dried tomatoes and my spices, and I thought it turned out very flavorful. I mean, it's a little thicker consistency. I did end up adding a little bit of milk after this video to kind of thin it down a little bit, and a little bit more sugar because it did call for some sugar, and the sugar can really help balance the acid, and same with salt too. So as I was working with this, I just kept tasting it and trying to get a good salt level with it. And that seemed to work pretty well. I did decide I wanted to add one more can of crushed tomatoes to it, though. And I use an immersion blender to blend this up, but you could also take it out and put it in your blender if you needed to. So here I am making my oven grilled cheese. The reason I like to make grilled cheese in the oven sometimes is because you can make more than one sandwich at a time versus if you're in a pan, you have to, do one or two at a time, or unless you have one of those electric griddle type things. But I think this works out pretty well. This little dog here, Monty, is actually my daughter's dog, but he's pretty cute. He loves cooking. So I add a little cream cheese to this to give it the creaminess. And then I put the immersion blender in again just to get it really emulsified. Since I'm a teacher, I am usually very tired by the end of the day, and it is really a struggle to cook. Like, I enjoy cooking, but when I'm really tired, I really don't want to cook. I think that's probably true for most people, and that's okay. You don't have to want to cook every day. You don't have to cook every day. I think it's just nice to be able to have meals that you can prepare that are not overwhelming from time to time, so you do get some of that fresh cooked food at home. All right, here is another meal my son requested, which were buffalo wings. So I'm just cutting apart the wing pieces, the little mini drumstick and the fore wing, I guess you could call it, and I'm taking the tips off. And I'm going to salt these and let the salt kind of do its work. And once that's sat for a little bit, I will put the buffalo sauce on. There we go. Now, typically, I would not have the energy to make homemade fries, but I really haven't made homemade fries for a long time. So this night I decided to make some homemade fries, and they were a little involved, but really not too bad, and it really just made for a special treat. So while those wings are cooking in the oven at about 400 degrees, I washed up my potatoes, and yeah, that was way too many potatoes. I definitely am not going to be using all those. And I got my oil heated, and I did it in my wok since the wok's pretty big. I kind of like a big pan when you're frying so it doesn't overboil. And then you're going to take your potatoes and you're going to rinse them really well, your strips of potatoes, and get that starch off of them. And that will help them crisp up better. And then you're going to dry them. You can use paper towels if you want. I just used a dish towel, clean one, of course. And then once the oil was up to about 375 Fahrenheit, I started putting in my fries. And the trick here is to let them cook for a little while, but not all the way, and then pull them out for a little bit. And then you're going to put them back in and fry them the rest of the way. Don't ask me why. Why. I just saw that on another YouTube video years ago. And it works really well. And then I drained the liquid off of these wings and uncovered it. And then I stuck my partially cooked fries back in to fry up the rest of the way. I had some French bread that I was going to use for another meal, but I decided just to use it up tonight because it was getting kind of to the point where it needed to be used. So I put it in underneath the wings and let it toast up for a bit. Now my wings were mostly done, but I decided to add a little more of the buffalo sauce to them and stick them back in for a little bit. My bread is done now, so I'm putting my wings back in and pulling the bread out. And I'll cut that up here in a minute. Looks like my fries are done, so I'm putting those on paper towels to drain. Now, I don't know about your family, but we really like fry sauce with our fries. And since I had these buffalo wings, I thought I'd add just a tiny bit of the buffalo sauce to the fry sauce, give it a little kick. So here they are all the way done. A little ranch to go with them, some steamed veggies. And sorry, bad camera angle, but yeah, there's my fries and there's dinner. I hope you guys have a great week and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.